Hi there. I've been working on the Sidewinder X1 printer and extruder for a while now, so I might have done a few tests, a bit more tests, and then some more, then a few bigger things. I was never satisfied with the results, and today I will tell you the minor change I have done to the extruder so you can also get a stable and consistent running extruder on your X1.
So you'll need a 40 by 40 by 20 fan, a few of those M3 400 no, for no, M3 40 millimeters long screw. I only have one. I lost the other one. I have more coming in the mail, but yeah. Two little washers. Those little washers right here are from wheels. You find them between two of the wheels, between the two bearings of the wheel. I just like them because the way they're made, they're just perfect for the fitting. I guess there's more out there. This is where I found them. You'll use your own little bearings. I always recommend having a silicone sock for your block. My block is a ED3 cut heat block. I love this heat block. It is the way it's made, and with the sensor that goes tubes all the way in there. It's really efficient. I find it more efficient. You don't have to get an ED3, but it has to be cut and not cast, I believe. So that helps. And last thing here is a full titanium all metal heat break. And this one I got from Amazon. I am testing it and it's running really well right now. It's not from a known company. I was curious and the price was just under the ED3, and it was about the same as the Micro Swiss. But I'm in Canada, and Micro Swiss and ED3 couldn't find them on Amazon without paying shipping and waiting for a long time. So I told myself, well, I'm gonna try that one, and so far so good. And I have a metal one coming up, but that doesn't matter much. But it still wiggles a bit. But what we'll do, we'll make it wiggle a lot less. And I guess the little wiggling is just perfect for centering itself. But I did not have any issues so far. I did not have any cracks on mine. And I guess because either I was lucky or I am more of a gentle on those things. But I am used to having 3D printers, so I tend not to break those kind of things. Anyway, so we'll reassemble that, and you'll see how it makes it. This I find that this extruder is very good, and the basic idea around it is good. But unfortunately, it was not tested enough, or basic idea is very good. It just didn't. It could have been better, and that's what we're gonna do. So first, your arm and bearing. Let's put that in there. Here we go. Now, one of the issue I found is that let me get you closer here. Okay, here we are. In here, closer, closer. Aha, okay. You see that that plastic gear? You can see the rubbing on it, right? Well, the bearing was right on it, but it was not turning. The pressure was all over, and that just rubbed on there, which gives you inconsistencies. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little washer. Oops, there we go. And I'll insert it in there. And that little washer will press only on the in edge, which will make the bearing being usable. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is going to take a bit of oil. I'm just going to put a bit of oil on there. There we go. Does it make a difference? I don't know. I always put oil on everything. There we go. So push that back in there, and we have it. And I made sure that the thickness and everything will be really centered into the hot end, heat break, right? Then I will put another washer. That washer is that when you put the plate on, there's a little play, and the arm is going to wiggle, right? So if I put that, and I always like putting a bit of oil. There we go. There we go. A bit of oil, and you put a washer. There we go. Okay, and next, now you're gonna say, well, you should have put that in first. Well, yep, you're right, but since the motor is loose, I can get a bit of space, put that in there, and move the motor so that the gear is really well pressed. There we go. Then we have, now I presume you already changed everything, so everything's changed and modified. If you're not used to that kind of things, well, I'm going to tell you, just, there's a lot of tutorials on how to change the heat break and the nozzle and everything. So, and I just noticed my heat break moved. Gotta check everything, make sure that, not heat break, but my thermistor. Okay, another thing to check is a little plastic in there, right? My little plastic, I made a edge on it, a groove, I guess. Yeah, a groove. So that when the plastic comes in, it doesn't hit the plastic, it just finds its way in there. And make sure that it's the proper length to enter the heat break. And when you have a cover on it, it doesn't wiggle, when it doesn't move around. It's a tight fit. Not too tight, just enough to, there we go. And just what I did is I put a little longer, and then just, oh, that doesn't fit, cut it, oh, just a bit more, cut it, until I had a perfect fit. It helps less, everything's tight. Okay, so we have that. Now I know that everything's tight for me, so I'm gonna put my suck. But usually, well, I put it at the end when I'm sure that my nozzle and my heat break is well placed. But let's just put it on the right side, will help. Now you'll notice that I did a bit of change. I put that because I was testing things, and that was just for the heat cartridge. I didn't want the air to blow directly on it, and to help make sure that everything stayed always as cool as possible. Anyway, so that the heat doesn't vary too much. So now everything's assembled there. I am gonna put my little bearing here, and we have, let me back out, oh, close in, back out, there we go. Okay, here, to make sure that the bolt is screwed in all the way in, then spring, And now, when you put that in, you gotta make sure. Oh, sorry, too far. A little plastic play here has to go in the groove, not the bolt. Okay, so now we're gonna slide that in carefully so the bearing doesn't fall. I have a plate under it, so the bearing, if it falls in the plate. Well, it's gonna bounce around and leave the plate, but you know, one can try. And we're in. And I'm just gonna secure it before removing my finger with one screw. There we go. So now we got to make sure that turn the motor so the gear is well in place and there's no slack. And we're gonna tighten that up a bit in place. And here we are, not too tight. And then I'm gonna go around. Let's see, this is a smaller one, so it goes in here. That one is a bit more tricky. There we go. That one screws into the plastic frame, not in with the motor. And then we have, yep. And then I drop my screw. Okay, here we go. Just put that in. No slack, perfect. And now we go around and make sure that everything's tight. Not too tight, don't want to strip anything, but there we go. Then I always put a bit of thermal. When you're gonna put this, make sure it's horizontal. Yeah, horizontal, so that the blow goes. And I wish it would go up and the sides. So I may make cuts on them, but really on the sides. Not, you don't want it to blow down on your parts. That will be unstable depending on what material you're printing. It'll cause problem. So you want them on sideways. It'll blow on the side and not affect your prints. Then you have your mortar. Just remember, if you can, put hot glue on those things so that it doesn't get pulled out for whatever reason. There we go. Now I have a little cover protector. Use your long screws. And there we go. Tire wraps. It's the duct tape for the 3D printer makers. There we go. So like that, I'm sure the cover's not going to move around. Yeah. I'm going to remove that so it doesn't touch the gear. Could have used black ones, it'll be 6 here, but my bolts are going to be here soon. Okay, so, and then put in your wires, and remember, it's going to be sensor, cooling fan, heat, then part cooling fan. So sensor first. Now I wish they would put that further away, just a bit further away, because you can't fit my fingers in there very well. So I'm gonna use some pliers. That's one. Then cooling fan. Make sure that the wires doesn't touch the heat block. That's why the silicone sock is useful on that. And you'll notice I changed the heat cartridge because it was the original one was not that flexible, and since I change often my things, well, I made sure that I had something flexible that would not move around. Then before we continue, I will put the printer on. Okay, printer is on, so I will do a test by heating it up. I'm gonna start with 200, and you'll know right away if there's an issue. It's not gonna heat up. I see my temp, so I know that the heat block is good, and I see it going up, so we're fine. Now I'm gonna put my light in. Go. And then now that I know that everything's working, I'm gonna set it to cool and close it. Okay. And I'm gonna finish assembling it. Go. And it's assembled. And now you have a much better 3D printer with a better extruder, and you will not have the issues that most of us have, mostly because of PETG or just getting a better quality out there and a better stability. This will help you a lot. This will work